The hardest battle you will ever fight is not with the world, not with other people. It is with your own mind. If you can win inside, you can win anywhere. This video will give you the tools to stop being controlled by your emotions, to take back your peace, and to finally live with the strength and clarity you were meant to have. Life has a way of whispering to us, doesn't it? Sometimes it comes as a gentle nudge, sometimes as a storm that shakes the ground beneath us. But in both whispers and storms, there is a message. You are far more powerful than you believe. The ancient philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That single sentence contains the essence of true freedom. Because while we cannot control the tides of the world, people leaving, seasons changing, circumstances shifting, we can control the rudder of our own mind. So the question is not whether life will test you, it surely will. The question is, when the waves rise, will you drown in them, or will you learn to surf? This journey is not about suppressing who you are. It is about awakening the self that already lives within you, the calm center, the resilient warrior, the gentle soul that knows it was born for more. Let's begin with the first keys to reclaiming your mind. Tip 1. Saying no to temporary pleasure. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, real power begins with the courage to delay. Think of the classic marshmallow experiment conducted by psychologist Walter Mischel in the 1970 seconds. Children were given a choice: 1 marshmallow now or 2 marshmallows if they could wait 15 minutes. Decades later, follow-ups revealed that those who had practiced waiting grew into adults with stronger self-control, healthier relationships, and greater success. It's the same with us today. Every time you choose the fleeting thrill scrolling endlessly through social media, reaching for junk food, chasing attention from people who don't value you, you pay a hidden cost. It feels sweet in the moment, but like sugar, it leaves you empty, jittery, and longing for more. Real freedom is not found in saying yes to every urge. It's found in having the strength to say no, to close your laptop at midnight when a new episode tempts you, to put the phone down when your soul craves silence, to walk away when the pleasure in front of you is just a cleverly disguised trap. As Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space, the choice to say not now for the sake of something greater later, is where warriors are built. Tip 2. Choosing intelligence over impulse. Every human being has 2 voices inside: the quick, fiery voice of impulse and the steady, guiding voice of wisdom. Most people live chained to the first. They react when insulted. They lash out when frustrated. They waste hours chasing distractions simply because the impulse said, "Do it." But intelligence whispers, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, will this action create peace or destroy it? Psychologists call this practice response inhibition, one of the core executive functions of the brain. It's the ability to stop, reflect, and act in alignment with values rather than raw emotion. And studies show that people with stronger self-regulation live longer, happier, more fulfilled lives. Imagine someone insults you. Your impulse is to fire back, to sting them with sharper words. But intelligence says, why should I give them the keys to my peace? Why should I hand over my power so easily? Your mind is like a car. Emotions are passengers. Some are loud, some are quiet, some demand control. But only you hold the steering wheel. Don't let anger or jealousy grab it and drive you off a cliff. The Buddha captured it best. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. True intelligence is not weakness. It is strength with direction. The power to feel the storm rise inside you and yet choose not to become the storm. Tip 3. Guarding the gates of your senses. Your eyes, ears, mouth, nose, and skin, these are not just biological instruments. They are the gates to your mind. Whatever passes through them becomes the raw material of your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your life. Think of your mind as a garden. Every song you listen to, every video you watch, every conversation you entertain is a seed. Some seeds bloom into beauty and strength. Others grow into weeds that choke your joy. Modern psychology calls this the input hypothesis. What you consume becomes what you produce. Feed your senses with violence, gossip, and toxic noise, and your inner world will mirror it. Feed them with truth, inspiration, silence, or the beauty of nature, and your mind becomes fertile ground for peace. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Tonight, before bed, notice what you allow in. Are you scrolling through random negativity? Or are you letting in words and images that lift you higher? Tomorrow morning, notice what you hear. Is it the endless complaints of others, or a voice that calms and strengthens you? Guard your gates. Be deliberate, because what enters the senses does not leave quietly. It stays, grows roots, and shapes the person you are becoming. Tip 4. Choosing your memories carefully. Memory is a strange thing. It is not a perfect recording of the past. It is a story our brain keeps retelling us. Neuroscientists have found that every time we recall a memory, we don't simply play it back. Instead, we reconstruct it, often adding new colors, new emotions, and sometimes even distortions. That means the past isn't fixed, it's pliable, and how we frame it shapes who we become. Too many of us flip through the same dark pages over and over again. Failures, rejections, times we were not supported, times we were betrayed. The brain has what psychologists call a negativity bias, a tendency to hold on to painful events more tightly than joyful ones. It's a survival instinct, meant to protect us from danger, but in daily life it becomes a prison. The good news? We can choose which memories to water and which to let dry. As author Brené Brown says, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. Instead of replaying the exam you failed, remember the resilience it took to try again. Instead of holding on to the heartbreak, honor the courage it took to love in the first place. Instead of focusing on scars, celebrate the strength that survived them. Your past is not your prison, it's your library. Choose carefully which books you keep open on the table of your mind. Tip 5. Programming your mind with autosuggestion. If you don't program your mind, the world will do it for you, and the world is rarely kind. Parents may say, "You're not smart enough." Society may whisper, "You'll never make it." Social media screams, "You're not successful." If you listen long enough, these voices become your own. Psychologist Emile Coué, known as the father of autosuggestion, discovered in the early 1900s that repeated affirmations could literally rewire behavior and belief. His famous line was, "Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better." At first, it sounded simplistic, but modern neuroscience backs him up. Repetition creates neural pathways. What we tell ourselves daily becomes the architecture of our reality. Think of your mind as a smartphone. Every thought you repeat is an app you install. Negative self-talk is like malware running in the background, slowing you down, stealing your energy. But you can uninstall it and install something new. I am calm in the storm. I am stronger than my impulses. I can choose peace. At first, it may feel artificial, even silly. But as psychologist William James said, believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. Say it enough, write it enough, and soon your subconscious will begin to align with it. Your mind is always listening. Make sure it hears something worth believing. Tip 6. Understanding, not suppressing, emotions. We are often taught that control means denial. Don't cry. Don't get angry. Don't feel afraid. But suppression is not mastery. It's postponement. And what is postponed eventually explodes. Emotions are not enemies. They are messengers. Anger often signals injustice. Fear tells you to prepare. Sadness asks you to heal. Jealousy reveals what you truly desire. Guilt points toward your values. If we treat them as teachers rather than intruders, emotions become guides to self-awareness. Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, famously showed that people who can identify, understand, and regulate their emotions are more successful in life than those who cannot. Naming an emotion, "I feel jealous," "I feel unseen," activates the prefrontal cortex, calming the amygdala, the brain's alarm system. In other words, once you name it, you can tame it. So the next time anger rises, instead of shouting or swallowing it, pause and ask, what are you trying to teach me? Maybe you need to set boundaries. Maybe you need to stand up for yourself. Maybe you simply need rest. By listening, you grow. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Understanding your emotions is how you take back the wheel from fate. Tip 7. Surrounding yourself with empowering people. You are not just the product of your thoughts. You are also the echo of the voices around you. Jim Rohn, the motivational speaker, put it simply, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Environment is everything. A flower cannot bloom in poisoned soil. Likewise, no matter how strong your willpower, if you are constantly drenched in negativity complaints, gossip, criticism, you will begin to shrink. The brain, wired for social learning, unconsciously mirrors the patterns of those it observes. Consider this. Studies on emotional contagion reveal that moods spread like viruses. One negative person in a group can drag down the emotional tone of everyone else. But the opposite is also true. Encouragement, hope, and resilience are just as contagious. Think of your own circle. Do your friends make you feel lighter or heavier? Do they remind you of your potential or your limits? Even if you can't change all your surroundings at once, you can begin gently curating your environment, replacing gossip with uplifting podcasts, replacing toxic friendships with books that inspire, or simply seeking online communities that focus on growth. You don't need to fight or cut ties harshly. Just choose, day by day, to water the relationships that water you back, because you cannot rise alone, but you can choose who rises with you. Tip 8. The power of single tasking. We live in a world that glorifies multitasking. The busier you look, the more productive you appear. But neuroscience tells a different story. The human brain is not designed to perform multiple complex tasks at the same time. When we try, what we're really doing is rapid task switching, and each switch comes at a cost. Studies from Stanford University show that chronic multitaskers perform worse at filtering information, organizing their thoughts, and switching between tasks than those who focus on one thing at a time. It's no wonder we feel scattered, exhausted, and perpetually behind. The mind becomes like a restless monkey, leaping from branch to branch, emails, texts, social media, unfinished work, without ever tasting the fruit of deep concentration. But imagine a different way, setting aside your phone, closing unnecessary tabs, and giving your full attention to a single task for just an hour. What happens? Time slows down. Anxiety quiets. Your mind sharpens like a laser. One focused hour can achieve what 5 distracted hours never could. Leonardo da Vinci, who knew something about genius, once said, "While you are alone, you are entirely your own master. If you cannot rule yourself, how can you rule others?" Single tasking is the art of ruling yourself. It's not just about getting more done, it's about reclaiming your clarity. So the next time your mind pulls you in 10 directions, pause and whisper to yourself, one thing, just one thing. Then watch how your power grows. Tip 9. Challenging negative thoughts. The fiercest enemy is not the critic outside. It's the quiet voice inside that whispers, "You're not enough." Most of us mistake every thought for truth, but thoughts are not facts. They are stories, interpretations, sometimes outright lies your fear is telling you. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the most effective forms of modern psychotherapy, is built on this simple truth. Challenge the thought, and you weaken its power. Suppose you're about to give a speech and your mind hisses, "You'll forget everything. People will laugh." Instead of bowing to it, ask, "Is this 100% true? Have I prepared? Even if I stumble, does that mean I'm a failure or just human?" The moment you question the thought, it loses its claws. The poet Rumi once wrote, "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure." The same is true with thoughts. Negative ones may sting, but they are not destiny. When you face them with courage, they often dissolve, leaving behind a deeper strength. So remember, you can't stop negative thoughts from knocking at your door, but you can decide whether to let them move in. Tip 10. Seeing it before you live it. Visualization is not wishful thinking. It is mental rehearsal, and science shows it works. Athletes have used it for decades. When Olympic skiers visualize a race, the same neural pathways light up in their brains as if they were physically skiing down the slope. Your brain does not distinguish much between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. So why not use that to your advantage? Each morning, close your eyes and picture the life you long for, not vaguely specifically. See yourself walking onto the stage with confidence, or opening the door to your own business, or simply waking up with peace in your heart. Add color, sound, detail. Feel the pride, the joy, the energy as if it were already here. The great inventor Nikola Tesla said, "When I get an idea, I start at once building it up in my imagination. In this way, I can rapidly develop and perfect the conception without touching anything." Visualization aligns your subconscious with your conscious goals. When your inner world believes something is possible, your actions begin to match it. You speak with more confidence. You take risks you used to avoid. You persevere longer. Slowly, your imagined future starts showing up in reality. As Buddha taught long ago, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Tip 11. Setting clear intentions. If visualization is about seeing the destination, intention is about charting the path. Without it, the day sweeps you along like a leaf in the wind. With it, you become the captain of your ship. Psychologists call this implementation intention. When you decide in advance how you will act, if situation X arises, I will do Y, you drastically increase your chances of following through. For example, if I feel stressed today, I will take 3 deep breaths before reacting. Or, at 7 p.m., I will sit down to write 1 page, no matter how I feel. Research shows this simple practice can double or even triple success rates in forming habits, because clarity cuts through chaos. Every morning, give your mind a compass. Say, Today I will stay calm no matter what. Or, today I will take one step toward my dream. These are not just empty words. They are instructions to your subconscious, guiding where your energy flows. Tony Robbins famously says, "Where focus goes, energy flows." Intentions are how you tell your focus where to go. So tomorrow, don't just wake up and drift. Wake up and declare, "This is who I am today. This is what I choose." Then let your mind follow your command. Tip 12. The strength of self-discipline. Motivation is wonderful, but fleeting. It's the spark that ignites the fire. But if you rely only on sparks, the fire dies out quickly. Self-discipline, on the other hand, is the steady wood that keeps the flame alive through the long night. The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like in the moment. It's being able to do what is right, even when you don't feel like it. Think of the mornings when your alarm rings and your body whispers, "Just 10 more minutes." Discipline is the quiet but firm voice that answers, "No." We rise now. Each time you choose action over comfort, you build trust with yourself, and trust is the foundation of strength. Psychologists call this delayed gratification, the ability to resist immediate pleasure for a greater long-term goal. Studies consistently show it predicts everything from academic success to health and happiness. Discipline is the muscle behind it. Start small. Wake up on time. Make your bed. Finish one task you promised yourself. These small victories accumulate. Over time, they form an identity. I am someone who keeps promises to myself. As Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Tip 13. The gift of mindfulness. So many of us are alive, but not truly living. We eat, but our minds are on yesterday's argument. We sit with loved ones, but our hearts are racing toward tomorrow's worries. We are here, but not here. Mindfulness is the art of returning home to this moment, not running from the past, not chasing the future, but resting in the only place we ever truly exist, now. Jon Kabat-Zinn, the father of modern mindfulness research, defines it as awareness that arises through paying attention, on purpose, in the present moment, non-judgmentally. His studies show mindfulness reduces anxiety, lowers blood pressure, strengthens the immune system, and even reshapes the brain's gray matter in areas linked to memory and emotion regulation. The practice is simple, though not always easy. When eating, just eat, taste each bite, feel gratitude. When walking, notice your feet touching the ground, the wind brushing your face. When sadness comes, don't run. Sit with it, breathe through it, let it soften. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Zen master, wrote, "The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it." Mindfulness doesn't erase your problems, but it gives you space, and in that space, peace blooms. Tip 14. The healing power of meditation. If mindfulness is being present, meditation is going inward. It is not about emptying your mind. It's about observing it with kindness, watching the thoughts pass by, like clouds, without needing to chase or fight them. Modern science now validates what sages have known for centuries. Regular meditation lowers stress hormones like cortisol, increases focus, and activates the prefrontal cortex, the seat of decision-making and calm. Brain scans of long-term meditators even show thicker gray matter in regions associated with empathy and emotional regulation. But beyond the science, meditation is deeply human. After a painful day, when emotions feel like a storm, 5 minutes of sitting quietly, breathing slowly, can transform the chaos into clarity. You realize, I am not my anger. I am not my fear. I am the witness that can let them come and go. As the Dalai Lama teaches, If you want to control the mind, sit in silence and watch it. Start simply. 2 minutes a day. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Follow your breath in and out. Thoughts will come. Let them. Return to the breath. Over time, you'll discover a sanctuary inside you, always available, no matter how noisy the world becomes. Tip 15. Writing pain into power. We all carry untold stories, heartbreaks, disappointments, fears we don't voice. Left inside, these emotions grow heavy, turning into shadows that darken our days. But writing simple, honest writing can turn those shadows into light. Psychologist James Pennebaker's research on expressive writing found that people who wrote about their deepest emotions for just 15 minutes a day showed stronger immune systems, reduced stress, and improved mental clarity. Writing gives the heart a voice, and in giving it voice, we set it free. Try 2 practices. 1. Write your pain. Each night, take a few minutes to spill the unspoken. What hurt me today? What emotion am I hiding? Let the paper carry what your soul has been holding. 2. Write your power. After releasing the pain, write down one thing you're proud of, one lesson you learned, one step you'll take tomorrow. This reframes you from victim to author. Maya Angelou once said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." Writing is how you release it. Writing is how you turn wounds into wisdom. Conclusion. Becoming the master of your mind. Life will not always be gentle. There will be storms, losses, uncertainties. But remember this: you are not powerless. The greatest power you will ever hold is not control over others, but control over yourself. When you say no to empty pleasures, when you pause before reacting, when you guard your senses, when you choose empowering memories, when you program your mind with words of life, when you listen to your emotions, when you surround yourself with those who uplift you, when you focus deeply, challenge the lies, visualize the future, set intentions, build discipline, practice mindfulness, meditate, and write, then you are no longer a prisoner of circumstance. You are free. The poet William Ernest Henley captured this spirit in his famous lines: "I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." So take a deep breath. Know that your story is not over. Your best days are still ahead. You are stronger than you think, wiser than you realize, and more capable than you've ever dared to believe. And every time you choose peace over chaos, growth over fear, discipline over impulse, you are writing a new chapter, one that proves you are, and always were, the master of your mind.